Hello everyone. So after a short period, like nearly 10 days of time, I have come up with the next video of mine. From now onwards, we'll be putting a regular video for all our subscribers. But then there was a 10 days gap during which what we were doing, we were involved in two different activities which was very useful for the parents and teachers out there. One was a webinar which was conducted on Montessori for parents and teachers, which was a webinar for nearly 2.5 hours, and nearly 400 members had inquired and 150 members could participate in the webinar directly, and remaining 250 of them nearly wanted to participate, but the only difficulty they faced was they couldn't attend the full webinar, or at least they couldn't attend the webinar at the particular time which we gave. So we are coming up with something called a WhatsApp class, wherein which at your convenient time you can access our webinar content and you can learn about more on Montessori for parents as well as for teachers. So stay tuned. By this weekend we will be coming up. And the second thing what we were doing is, there are a lot of parents in our own school, but we were asking them to do a lot of activities, but this was very orally we were telling. But now what we did is, we gave them a worksheet wherein which on daily basis they can conduct 4 to 5 activities based on the subject and the brain development aspects of the child. So it was very useful, and our parents are really sharing so many things about how the children are very actively doing. If you also want to do daily based activity based on the brain development as well as based on the subject matters, just send us a message with the number I have stated. So we will be giving you, based on the age of your child, I can give you the activities. So the second thing, the third thing which we are going to do right now is going to discuss about the topic, the harmful effects of screen timing. I know you would be very frustrated because during this lockdown, and it's an extension of lockdown May 3rd, and we don't know whether the extension may still go on or it will be open by May 3rd. So there is very uncertainty about that. So what is the most important problem faced at home, which we find it even as parents, as doing all the household activities? I find it a lot of parents end up giving mobile and more of screen time through laptops, iPads or through TV to the children. Now what happens when you keep on giving these things? Because you're all already frustrated and you're trying to give your child more frustration by the screen time. How? I will tell you. Because the screen time which you are giving, you have to understand certain aspects of it. The harmful effects of screen time, if you go and search it in Google, everywhere all the research papers puts up these 5 important issues faced by the children. One of the main important issue is, the major important issue faced by screen time is the behavioral issue. Behavioral issue that they become very adamant, they don't listen to you, or they show you throw a lot of tantrums if you don't give up, if you are not giving the mobile. So primary is the behavioral change. The second is sleeplessness. If your child is not going to sleep by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or they are waking up till 12 o'clock, make sure, or you just find out whether the parent, as a parent, are giving more screen time in the morning. So if you notify in the morning around 12 hours how many hours the child is spending, based on that hour there will be a delay. Suppose you are giving 3 to 4 hours of screen time, you can find out by 10 o'clock the children may not go. By 12 or 1 the children will be wake up another 3 hours, and then only they will go to sleep, because it is all related to the number of hours the screen time they are exposed to. So sleeplessness is the second point. Now the third important problem which is faced due to screen time is about getting disinterested in learning. You know, the more and more the screen time the mind is going to occupy, it wants to take information or learn, take informations, or it is getting so much attracted to that screen timing activity that they lose the interest to learn through books. So this is one of the important aspects as parents. If you find your children being very disinterested in learning, find out whether your child is occupying its daytime, most of them with screen, but that is with mobile or TV, whatever it may be. Screen is, if it's going to be mobile, they are going to keep the mobile very near to the eyes. The distance is very near. But when it takes to TV, though it is long, but then the mind will be more attracted to the cartoonistic figure, the colorful images and pictures of the TV, wherein which the book is not very attractive. So these two things may affect the children's interest in learning, and eventually it will reflect in their learning capabilities. So parents, you make sure that your screen time does not, the screen time which you give to your children does not affect their learning interest. So how will you do that? I'm coming to the solution. First, I'm giving you the important point which you have to know. Then we will come to the solution. So first, as I told you, it is about the behavioral issue. Next is sleeplessness. Third is disinterested in learning, which eventually causes learning difficulties. The fourth is obesity. Obesity, in the sense, for the younger children we may not find this, but as children grow up above 6 years, 7 years, they will lose the interest to learn outside with the children, and they will want to be alone and want to play with the phone, with mobile, with lots of mobile games and apps. And there is a lot of friends who are just joining together and playing in the mobile itself. So what it happens, the more and more the brain gets stimulated to play with the video games, they also eat more simultaneously, because even though they sit and do it, they want, the brain consumes a lot of energy through the screen time, and they eventually feel so much tired, they keep on eating, though they physically don't work. So this may eventually lead to obesity. Not may, it is, because all of the people who are working with the harmful effects of mobile, they are coming up with this, saying that the children will get to eat a lot of things while they are into screen time. And the fifth problem which I am going to tell you is violence. What is meant by violence? As I told you, behavioral issues, at least behavioral issues you can overcome with it. But what is violence? Violence in terms like, if there is going to be a game, or if the child is going to watch a movie, or if the child is going to watch cartoon, where if the child wants something in the life, and the child is going to use his violence to bring it back. Not even the child, even the elderly people, we see in a lot of movies that if a villain wants something, the villain is going to fight and he will going to use violence to get things from the other people. And this is what will reflect in the children mind also. If it wants something, it will throw such a tantrum at the home, use such a level of violence to beat you, or to do all sort of sounds and all sort of these things to get things done from you. Where do they learn this? As parents, you don't show them these things. But where do they learn this? They learn most of the violence-based activities through the messages conveyed through the media, through film, through cartoon, or through games. Yes, even games, the PUBG games or whatever games, they're keeping on shooting, they're keeping on killing people. So, and there are a lot of others. I'm just telling you one thing. There are a lot of others, they learn this violence. Okay, so this is one important. Obesity, violence, these are the two things eventually after watching screen time they will undergo. And other things like sleeplessness, behavioral issues, and learning capabilities, you can at least work with this by reducing the screen time. Even if you reduce the screen time, this violence issue may be very important that you have to note down, because whatever the screen time you're giving to the child, make sure during that time period the child is not going to eventually learn a lot of violence. So taking into consideration all the important 5 problems, I'm going to give you the solution. Don't worry, all these seems to be panicking to know about it. Already we are having enough panicking outside our home, going about with a lot of pandemic situation which we are facing now. There are there is a lot of solutions for all of this. Now what is the primary solution which we can do is, as parents, we have to become primarily self-disciplined about using our mobile and our laptops and our TV timings. Why? Because the research survey says that lot of children after 6 years, when they were asked about why you were so addicted to mobile, why do you want to use mobile, they say that I see my parents always using a mobile and they don't give equal opportunity for us to use it. So they give a lot of justification which doesn't feel to our mind that it is justifying. They say that I should not use because I am young, but as I grow I can use. So this justification does not work with a child. So don't justify the children, I am working, I am doing this, I am doing that. So don't justify with the children, because 90% of the time I am telling you, mobile usage we are using only for social media, WhatsApp, Facebooks, all these things. I know even I am a mother, I have also undergone doing all these things, but I had to implement certain self-discipline aspects. So first is, don't blame as parents, if I am going to directly tell you, you will feel hurted. But don't worry, but there is a discipline with which you can do it. You might have work in mobile, you might have work in laptop. Keep the timing. So don't haphazardly do whatever in a day. You say next 3 hours I'm going to work, don't disturb me. I will go inside, I'll use my mobile and laptop, finish it off and come back and be sitting with you. Meanwhile, arrange the children to be with someone else so that the children will also not feel so much frustrated about your using the mobile. It will understand that you are doing a work. So make your work timings self-disciplined with the mobile and this laptop. The second thing is TV timings. Second TV timing is, there is a ground rule in family which you can implement. During meals time, no TV or mobile time. So you will also keep your mobile in the next room, come here, finish off the meal and go there. So why don't you try, not all the 3 times, at least 1 time in a day, wherein which you will start enjoying the process and you can implement the second time. Because when you sit together and eat without the TV, eat without talking on the phone, without reading any kind of books or something like that, involve yourself in eating, involve yourself how enjoyable is eating together with the family. I think the mother and father has to take equally responsible for these activities and implement the second discipline. So third discipline, which what we can do is, make sure you give the mobile to children only 2 times a day. Give this as a ground rules in family. Tell them that in a day you can use thrice, morning, afternoon, in the evening. Night there is nothing, and during which time you can tell them 20 minutes of time. That's all. 20 minutes of time you can use mobile, and that during this time you will watch these things, these things. So or if you want to play games, you will do only for 20 minutes. So finish off this timing with 20 minutes. So after 7 or 8, no screen timing, be it TV or be it mobile, no screen timing. Try to implement at least say this week 1 day we are going to implement this, this week 2 days we are going to implement this, or alternative days we are going to implement this. Once you start implement slowly, one by one, and especially during this quarantine time, you have an ample timing, you can start implementing this, and you can just do it as an experiment. You don't have to do it and stress yourself and do it. Start doing as an experiment. So to escape from the harmful effects of the screen time, you have to indulge in implementing self-discipline activities. So this is what we are trying to give. First, primarily self-discipline on your own self, and then give the self-discipline rules to the children. Try implementing these 3 things. 1, during meal time, no screen time. Second, in a day, the child can use only 3 screen times. Third, your bike timing will not be haphazardly throughout the day. You will go sit there in a room separately, and you will finish off your work time, not in front of the child, separately in a room, and come back and say that now I have finished my work and it's my time with you. So whenever you are spending time with your child, you will not be using the mobile or laptop. Sitting beside them and telling them I'm working in front of them doesn't feel justified to the child's brain. So these are the 3 things. Try to implement one by one in a day. It will help you. So stay tuned with us. We are going to come up with a lot of topics on this self-discipline aspect as well as activities for the parents. Thanking you.